Pam pam pam. Halo. Apa khabar? Okay, dah makan ke tak? Dah. Okay, first of all, I have to let you know, I punya screen sini ada problem sikit. So, I can't actually text. I cakap je lah. So, kalau ada komen-komen semua tu, boleh text and I reply. So anyway, how are you today? Okay ke tak? Can you hear me? Boleh? Boleh dengar? Boleh dengar ya? Okay. Can hear me Boleh ya? Boleh dengar? Sure Boleh dengar? Okay. Boleh dengar tak? Respon lah boleh. Okay. So, hari ni, we gonna talk about Waalaikumsalam. Hi. Hi, boleh dengar tak? Everyone reply boleh? I tak boleh text you back. Very good. Okay, thank you. Terima kasih. Okay. So, first of all, I'm very excited about tonight punya IG sebab this is something that I feel for. This is something yang I do. So it's not like macam I cakap benda-benda yang I tak tahu, but it's something that I love doing. So which is why I nak buat this, you know. Now, before we go into this, today we're going to talk about a film that was made a few years ago. Some of you guys might have seen it, some of you might not have seen it, but here is a chance for you to catch it again. You know where to catch it? The whole reason why I kat sini sebab of this. It's called eWayang online platform. Now, some of you guys dah nampak I posting the past few months. I ada post sebab the thing is when eWayang was launched, masa RMCO I ada pergi, and the reason why I support eWayang sebab you see a lot of people kat Malaysia ni, especially sekarang kita tengah ada lockdown kan, and COVID and all that situation. Ramai orang tak boleh afford to pay for subscription. So, when you're stuck at home, you nak tengok the film you want to tengok, the cerita you want to tengok, takkanlah, you know, you can expect everybody to pay for monthly subscription kan? So, eWayang is one whereby, kalau you nak tengok the film, like you miss from dulu, you can buy the ticket straight up and you can watch it within 24 hours. So, this is not just good for the audience. eWayang punya what it offers is not just about the filmmakers, it's for the audience. Sebab for the audience, you can pick and choose apa yang you nak tengok. And for the filmmakers, it's good because ada banyak film in the past, maybe it was shown for like maybe a few weeks in the cinema. Ada orang yang tak sempat pergi tengok. So, this is a time for them to go and watch, right? So, whilst you are stay at home, tak ada apa nak buat, you can check out. So, eWayang is quite new, okay? Right now, there's a number of films and it's building. So, I hope kawan-kawan semua, try to support, yeah? Now, tonight, we are going to talk about this film called Nota. Has anyone seen Nota yet? Now, Nota was made a number of years ago and Nota is currently now kat eWayang. So, anybody yang belum tengok lagi, you can click on to eWayang punya platform and you can watch anytime you want. So, Nota, before I go, I invite B. Tanaka and Yasu Tanaka, the filmmakers of Nota, because we want to find out how did they come up with the concept, how did they make it happen. I think ramai audience, a lot of times, especially in this day and age, which is rightfully so, sebab audience is important. Audience is the people that we need to entertain. If we are actor, director, producer, apa pun, this is where we have to entertain people. It's our job. So audience punya feedback semua bagus, but the thing is, ramai audience tak tahu how do people from the filmmaking industry make things happen. How did they make an idea come alive? So today we're going to hear from B. Tanaka and Yasu Tanaka on how they made Nota come alive. Okay, so let's invite B. B, are you there? Yeah. So by the way, B. Tanaka is the producer and Yasu is the director. Boleh masuk ke tak? B, are you there? Sekejap Where are you, B? Tak masuk Sekejap Hold on, guys.
Hi.
Alright. Hi. Sekejap, I am trying to see you.
Can you see us?
Kejap, my phone. I can actually... Wait Yeah. Can you see me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Tak stable lah ni. Okay. Oh, yes. Hello! Hi, Yasu! B, how are you? Wow,
Fine,
it's been a long time, huh? When was... Hello everyone. Hello. Okay, to my dear audience, I kenal B and Yasu actually not in Malaysia tau. I met them in Singapore. Sebab masa tu both our projects were chosen to go to Filmart. So bunch of, film buffs. Hi Nadia Heng, hi. Thanks for joining. Hi Zain, hi Ruli. Oh, Ruli dari Indonesia. Thanks. Okay, so basically, we met and you guys really, truly are one of the nicest people I ever met. So thank you very much for joining. I have to say, I have not been able to watch Nota completely yet, okay? Which I will tonight after talking to you. That I want to kind of leave a mystery for myself. So about that time pun, when I met you guys, I didn't get the chance to watch, just like many other people there. So tonight we want to find out, the audience want to find out, how did you get to come to get this idea of Nota before making it happen? But before then, I would love for you to introduce yourself. I'm not going to take for granted the fact that I've met you, tapi all the kawan-kawan out there, they haven't met you. So, Yasu, why don't you go first?
Yeah, writer director for Nota. I'm from Japan, but before I came here, I was living in the States, and that was 2003. That was the first time I came to Malaysia. At that time, actually, my mission was very different. I was an ice skater for Disney Ice, the Beauty and the Beast tour. Yeah. So that's where actually we met. I met B.
Right.
So
And you fell in love.
Yeah, we usually use the phrase, Disney magic cartoon.
Oh, so romantic. Yeah.
So at that time,
But I need, sorry, Yasu, I need to ask BB, I cannot see your pretty face. You're going
Oh,
further and
okay.
further away. So you kena masuk sikit
Okay.
lagi. Ah. Ni boleh nampak ya? Okay. Alright. So, sorry, Yasu, carry on. You met
Well,
B
at
and,
that time, I didn't know much about Malaysia,
okay.
because that was the first Southeast Asian country I was visited during the tour. Of
Mm-hmm.
course, I didn't even know anything about the film industry here. So
Okay.
later, we know each other, and then I came back more times, and then, yeah, we were invited.
Yeah,
Mm.
I think we met, and then I knew he was a scriptwriter. So in my holidays, I went down to Finas to take a class on scriptwriting. So
Okay.
when I went there, the officer at Finas was scratching their head. B, you're a teacher.
Mm-hmm.
Are you learning about scriptwriting? Then I said, yeah, I'm going to marry a scriptwriter. So I thought, I like writing, so why not to learn a
Right.
little bit about it before I jump in. And then we started talking. At that time, Yasu was already teaching in LA.
Mm-hmm.
And then the officers at Finas, hey, would you guys be interested to teach at Finas? That's how we
Right.
started with the industry here in Malaysia.
I see. But what's interesting, B, I can't wait for you to share with us because it must have been one of the most life-changing experience for you because I understand you're not from the film industry prior to that, right? I
No.
really want to know, like, how was it like to jump into something that is, unfamiliar. But first of all, what were you doing prior to that?
I was a teacher for 18 years. I
Wow.
started as
Okay.
a second teacher for first 4 years, and then after 4 years of teaching TESOL, then I started teaching special education integration class for the deaf. So I
Mm-hmm.
teach sign language, and
Mm-hmm.
then out of that 18 years, 15 years I was teaching the deaf.
Mm.
And
Okay.
the script from after marrying a scriptwriter director. So, and we shared classes at Pinas. In 2009 was our first class. And then
Mm-hmm.
after talking for 1 year, sharing in the class, so we were challenged, hey, you guys know about script. Why don't you start your own company? That's how 42nd Picture came about.
Wow. Okay. Now, okay, there's a comment from Zane. I think he was saying that there's a lot of echo coming from your end. Yeah, Zane is just our loyal supporter. Hi, Zane. But
Hi,
yeah,
Zane.
it's quite noisy. Is there any way we could try to calm that noise down? We can't, right?
Get a little
Yeah.
closer.
Okay. I think maybe we get an earphone in, maybe.
No.
Yeah, that may help. That may help. But I can still hear you. But okay. So, but meanwhile, while Yasu gets the earphone, B, you did you decide yourself that you are going to venture into this without knowing too much about it, or were you convinced by Yasu, or did you find like newfound passion for
Actually,
it?
No, because like when we started sharing about script, so
Yeah.
all I learned about scripting, structure, and everything I learned from Yasu. And then
Okay.
after 2 years, and then when we started for the second pictures, we were doing a lot of classes, and I was learning. I tried to absorb as much as I can. But after one whole year of sharing classes at Finas, at Astro, at RTN, and Media Prima, the first project we ever did was a telemovie for Astro
Okay.
and
Okay.
Larry. So it is smaller scale. From a teacher, I handle students. in production, I had the crew. So I kind of had that skill. It helped a lot, I think.
Okay, okay, okay. Now going back to Yasu, uh, I I don't want to call myself like a, being a silly fan, but I am a big fan of some of the Japanese filmmakers, especially people like Kurosawa,
Okay.
and Ozu as well, I
Mm-hmm.
mean, my kid at 6 years old watched Tokyo Story and he understood every single thing. So
Okay.
that's as one thing what I love about, Japanese filmmaking, I mean, from how many years ago. So could you, in some way, sort of explain to us what are your early influences and what the influences that led you to become the
Mm.
filmmaker that you are?
Okay, because yeah, I know that many people ask me about the Japanese film and the
Yeah.
Kurosawa because I'm only Japanese, only because I'm Japanese. But when I was 20, I went to States to learn the filmmaking. That means
Okay.
I grew up, my generation grew up with Hollywood film like Spielberg and Lucas. Especially
Okay.
my first big cinema experience was the Close Encounters of the Third Kind. That was
Ah.
1977 by the
Okay.
Spielberg. And
Okay.
also, yeah, just like you guys expected, that was anime time, especially like a sci-fi anime was a big boom. So in the
Yes.
beginning, I was mostly fascinated by the magic of the picture and the sound part. So then I
Okay.
went to the States, to learn the filmmaking. So
Okay.
as far as the Japanese old film is concerned, for me, just
Yeah.
one of the international film, because
Okay.
those are
Okay.
something, you go to the film school, you have to learn the, film history. So for me, the Japanese film is just like another French film or European film for me.
Okay.
Ah,
Yes,
so it
I
doesn't mean,
totally I totally
yeah.
agree. I totally agree. I was just wondering, like, when you were growing up, were there any filmmakers' work that you were inspired? It doesn't matter even if it's not from Japan. It's just that
Right.
I personally love so many, like Hayao Miyazaki is amazing. I've even been to the place where he was inspired to write Spirited Away,
Hmm.
So that's why I asked. But seriously, what are your other influences, other filmmakers, any filmmakers that you like and admire since, growing up that you can share with us?
Well, yeah, yeah, I mean, I encountered, the film changed my life. That was in 1977. Like I told
Ah,
you, that I was more fascinated by the picture, sound, or sight. But maybe later I was more interested in writing. So that means more like story,
right.
storytelling. And
Yep.
then start working in LA, in Japan, and then maybe 1999. Actually, that is a big harvest year for Hollywood. Many, good director and the film was that all in happening in that year. That was a year, American Beauty strike me again. So
Ah,
since then, I'm more into the drama, character, how to communicate with the script, to tell the story. But of course, my foundation is more like a visual side, So that's
okay.
why nowadays we are teaching the subject as a visual storytelling.
Okay. Okay. Well, I am, before we go into Nota, right, because of time earlier on, I managed to catch quickly the first
Hmm.
few minutes of Nota, but because of time, I couldn't finish. Uh, One thing I have to say when I read the synopsis too, it might sound a little bit biased, but I'm telling you, thank you very much for doing a story that is off from a woman's perspective because there's not enough of that. So I no
Okay.
seriously, and I think there is a line which I could see from what the first, from the synopsis and all that, there is something to do with there's a thin line between love and hate, about relationship, which is a very strong theme that a lot of us get inspired just from that. So tell us, how did you get inspired to write something like Nota based on that?
Yeah, I think B can tell the how.
Yasu is always inspired by locations.
Okay.
So actually, we went to Baku in 2007 after we got registered. It's kind of like a little honeymoon. So it's a very beautiful place. And then as we were stuck in the, I think there's a scene in Nota, like where Maya and Hans were stuck in the river. That actually happened to both of us. We were stuck in the middle of nowhere. It's so isolated, open spaces, but so isolated. Then Yasu thought of some idea to make it.
Yeah, I mean, the location, was very unique. Especially Bako National Park is a place you can only access through the water, through the river and through the ocean to reach the national park. There's no land to access. So that was an interesting situation. And we did a very interesting trip. And
wait. So you filmed there. You filmed there, and then you said there was no interesting. So to get up there must be quite difficult. Is that right?
Logistically, it was very challenging.
Okay.
Wow. And also, we had to bring the cast and crew and equipment all the way to Sarawak and into the Bako National Park. So that was very challenging. Yeah.
Wow. Wow. And sorry, so Yasu, you were saying, I'm trying to get a gist of this. Basically, you saw the location and you were inspired by what you could see visually before you started writing the script. Wow, nice. Okay.
And also, actually, that just one piece, because usually when I complete the story, I need one more piece. Usually, two pieces coming together and then match, and then I feel like, here we go, kind of moment. And then usually these two pieces are very different. Sometimes, that I experienced years ago. Reserved within me, and then this experience even change the shape, because our brain is a very interesting creature.
Yes.
So then all of a sudden one day another piece is coming into the picture, and then it's more like a fusion kind of the things happen. So for the Nota second piece is actually it's very personal experience too. Because usually it takes, years and years after we experience something to make it good story. But that time, we were middle of the hard time.
No, 2007 was happy times because we just got married. And then when we shot Nota is 2013. So we've been married 5 years and all that. So being married to a Japanese is not easy. And same as being married to a Malaysian is not easy
either.
So there were a lot of
conflict.
I'm not a timid woman. So we had our fights. So we kind of, and it's kind of like Yasu is beautiful Bako. We experienced during the first stages of our marriage. And then Nota is about a couple going through midlife crisis. We put a little bit of ourselves into it. I think it's believable. So it reaches, like, you don't have to be Malaysian to understand it. Everyone understands that. Yeah.
Yes.
So it's kind of tricky because you can tell that's a story about the man and the woman, husband and the wife. And Corinne mentioned about yes, it is from the woman's point of view. Actually, but the main character is having a lot of the characteristic from myself too. She is very, very aggressive to create the imagination. Through the story later, that is going to be the key elements. What's going to happen to them. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's why, yeah, I think this is one of the most the story that I'm putting ourselves.
Yeah. There are bits and pieces of what we went through as a couple in Nota. So that's why being our first baby, it's very special in that sense. And also it's very special. It's not an autobiography because I haven't killed him yet. So
No, yet.
You just
but-
announced that you haven't killed him yet. Yet.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Okay, so this is evidence
yeah. So it's like
if it happened.
yeah, we put a lot of bits and pieces of ourselves into the movie.
Okay.
So that's why I'm very proud of it.
I totally, honestly, I can totally relate to that because a lot of times some people, I mean, maybe because of hype or whatever, they will say like, oh, you put your whole life into it. But actually, no, you think, sometimes it's what you see, what you experience. It can be bits and pieces, what you sense, like from all your sensory. But this, I mean, for me, despite what popular demand says, right? Films, to me, depict society. So I always believe in diverse films to cater a different market. And I think it's a good thing, even though I haven't seen it like fully yet, that you created a story like that, And there are so many people, even now, masa COVID, duduk rumah, can't do a lot, couples fighting, couples boy, all that, relevant. Siapa-siapa ada boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, semua tu. I mean, that is something you could relate to, And so I think that is, I don't care whether it's popular or not. For me, it's very important that we have diverse films, not just action, not just, So that's interesting. But now, before I ask you, because all my kawan-kawan out there, they all know about film kan? There's different parts of development tau. There is development, the concept, right? And then after habis, there is also the pre-production, production, post-production, all of that. So with that all of that, how long roughly did it take for you to get Nota done? Like, for example, the development, the writing alone took you how long?
Writing alone, I mean, yeah, I think this one may be very quick. Because at that time, not only at that time, maybe all the time, the 42nd picture hold couple of different projects. Those are usually very different. Something is very commercial, something very artsy, something in the middle. And then whenever, financial chances come, we take, for the green light. So then before the Nota got the green light, actually we have been working on the very commercial film for the financial, financing. But actually it didn't happen. Actually, that was very disappointed event for us. Actually, it's reflecting the depression, for the feeling of the Nota too. So that's why once the next project is very different from the commercial film, but I was very fresh to just jump onto it. At that time already the script was already done. So then we start pre-production. So just like B said, the troublesome is that we always have to go there to do, the location hunting and the local casting.
Yeah, I think going to what you asked, like we had the script and then the development stage before we get the funding is maybe about half a year. And then after we got funding, it's another half a year because we shot in Sarawak. It's river and sea is 80% of the movie. So we study, he is very detailed in planning. So we studied the tide in Bako. When it's low tide and with high tide, it's totally different look. So we had to time our shooting schedule according to the tides. The time is very important. So that is a lot of planning. We spent almost a year in pre-production, in planning. We have to go to Sarawak and get pictures. And then we did, one thing I'm very proud of is that we did Nota with a full storyboard. So at the end of the day, we didn't to the actors Maya and Hans and Ara Abang Ramli, we didn't give them the script. We gave them a whole stack of storyboard.
Wow. Wow, hear that? Any filmmakers out there? Ada ramai kat Malaysia tu tak buat storyboard. Oh yeah.
We are lucky because we didn't have any restriction for time. So we could spend time.
And then and another one I'm very proud of, his plan is Yasu is very detailed, full storyboard. I was very confident of, he was already playing the movie in his mind even a month before shooting. And then plan B, plan C, plan D, E, F. So we shot everything, Nota, 26 days period without contingency.
26 days?
Yes.
May I know what camera did you shoot on? Wah, nak tanya dah. I have to ask you.
Because we had to be on the river, it cannot be a massive Alexa.
Yes,
I think we were red.
You're shooting on red. And I have to say the visual looks good. I mean, from the first few minutes. Who is your DP?
Actually, because we were traveling from LA and back here at that time, we did our crewing in LA for the DP. He's a German living and working in LA. Yeah.
Okay. So that, I mean, considering you shot 26 days, that is like, wow. That means you planned it properly. May I know how many scenes did you do per day? Because 26 days is considered short for many people.
Actually, the interesting you bring up the issue because this is something totally new for me. Once come to the Malaysian industry, everybody asking how many scenes, especially actors. For me, it really doesn't make sense. It really doesn't make sense because some scenes are long, some scenes short.
Yeah, true. No, because I am surprised, well, it's not like I'm surprised. I've heard of many times whereby when you pre-pro properly, when you prep properly, you will be able to shoot efficiently. This is what a lot of us here still do not get it. Yasu, you are detailed. I mean, that is part, I would say that I can say the kind of Japanese I know. I worked with Japanese before. Gosh, every single thing. They wanted everything like, and I loved it because it was very good training. You got it down. I've worked with people here whereby they don't even do storyboards. So, I mean, it's something for us to learn. I always believe that we never stop learning, even if you become filmmaker at like, God knows, 60, 70 years old, we are still learning,
Yeah.
So that's a beauty about content. That's a beauty, from making films to series or whatever. We just have to not be afraid to learn, I think,
Yeah.
So
I'm still learning.
Yeah, same here. I mean, that's the incredible, isn't it? But for you to be able to, I mean, may I ask, did you ever overrun your hours, or it was kind of down packed? You knew this is what you're gonna shoot, and 26 days. Did you go into your contingency days?
Actually, 20 how many?
26.
26 day. I'm still not sure that was a good number or not because that was
That was
actually
so
the
nice.
because that was actually our first big production in Malaysia. So we didn't know a lot of things. So the main thing is trial and error. And I'm pretty sure we wasting a lot of time and the energy too, only because that was the first time. So maybe the second time, next time we even can be better. But at the same time, maybe we are lucky too, because for this kind of shooting, we have to deal with the nature. B was saying, tide. Difference is actually the most important elements for the movie too. So we cannot ignore that because high tide and low tide and the scenery is totally different.
Yes.
So but that was actually the theme of the movie itself because it's a cycle of the nature and the cycle of the people and the cycle of the relationship between man and woman. Uh, so then I remember even one day we just shot one shot, right?
Can I ask you something which I saw the first few minutes because well, without letting the cat out of the bag a little bit, you were talking about the psychology of the characters and all of that, right? Did you play that with the colors as well, with what they were wearing? Was it deliberate?
Yeah.
It was
Of course.
deliberate that you made them wear the same similar clothing at that time, right? Yeah, that's what I guess, and so that's good. Yeah, okay.
And also,
Sorry.
like the 26 days, like you mentioned, because I was on set every single day.
Yeah.
And then I really think we planned, plan C, D, and E. But somehow, thank God, the weather seems to be very kind for us. I remember
I'm so lucky.
we went to Baco. We had to ferry all the equipment, the crew, the boat rentals. Then by the time we reached, it was around 4 5, and then the crew had to set up for sunset scene.
Okay.
So I was standing by the beach with the rangers, the workers at the Baco National Park. The workers, the rangers, they told us, Kak B, Kak B betul ha? Hari ini sunset cantik. Semalam tak ada. 2 3 hari tak ada. So we captured the beautiful sunset on the day that we arrived. So lucky.
I just remember something now because lucky and unlucky. Unlucky, the funny episode was actually that was the time for election.
Oh, okay.
Oh, white shot. We have hundreds of the flags. We need to take it out.
Wow.
We had to spend money to ask the villagers, can you please take down? We are going to shoot. Then after that, we have to pay the villagers again. Can you please put it back? Kind of thing. So that's another hassle. But the crew and the village of Baco is super fantastic. Yeah, they were so
right. Okay. So looking back, now that it's been quite a few years, right? Looking back, do you think, like sometimes you go through a very, strenuous shoot. I mean, shoot is when usually, you don't have time for anything else but to focus on it, from pre-pro especially to shoot. Is there anything that you feel that you have learned that you can share with us, that you feel like it can bring on for you, like, that you can use it for your next, that you feel you become a lot more wiser learning from that, especially in terms of how it would help you for filmmaking, for even writing. Is there anything you can share with us?
Yeah, for me, especially for me, it was a very, very steep learning curve from teaching to, Nota was my first major movie. So the administration, we had a lot of help with the PM and all that. I think as a producer, what I think makes me more. I have to learn what every single departments do. I have to be the jack of all trades. I don't have to be master of it, but I have to know, okay, wardrobe, what is the things that they need to do so that I know I can see, okay, this is what they need. So
Okay.
then, so that if no one can come to me and say, hey, you need to do this, no, I can use something else. So it makes me more flexible in that sense. Yeah, I think that was my biggest lesson. And a lot
Did
of
you
common sense.
did you feel as if like there are times as a producer you will have to, so there are certain times when you have to make decisions and it's instinctual.
Yes.
You know, you have to use your instincts. Uh,
Yes.
rather than, I mean, your knowledge will be this and that, but might be limited at that time because it's your first time. But even if you've done a few, you'll always be learning something new. But then you notice because of what you've already accumulated and you have to make certain decisions, and therefore it comes, you know, like instincts help you.
Yeah.
Did you ever go through that during Nota?
I think, yeah, a lot of times, like even creating and in pre-production, I think a lot of times we, as filmmakers, we don't use common sense as much as we should.
Creative people are very sensitive. So wait. On this note, who's the one who has more common sense? Let me guess. B? Oh yes, no.
Common sense? I mean, I'm the one come here to make a film, so I have to use the common sense. I have to be flexible.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
But again, it's not rocket scientist, because go to Japan, go to States, go to Malaysia, different system. The
Yes,
people handle the things thinking in different way. So that's why you have to live with it at the same time. If it's a wrong or right, you have to decide, every single time, because the shooting is a series of the decision. Of course, you might make some wrong decision. Yeah, but if I don't make a decision by myself, I know I'm going to regret. So then, sometimes she chip in, say something, and then, maybe I learned from the experience, Next time I made a decision by myself, it doesn't matter, it's right or wrong. Yeah. So then, each department, some people, in certain degree, I count on you guys, and then you guys make a decision based on the common sense.
They say, and I truly believe in it now more than ever before, and to any of the filmmakers or, hopefuls out there too, in a production, if the mama and papa, i.e. the director and producer, are not strong, that's it. It's going to be really, really hard. And a lot of times I also believe that it's synchronicity on set, how you work with people and all those things. And it's so important. You can work with so many people in the world, and some of them, you don't need to be friends as long as you work well, right? You make sure you do your job. But sometimes I have been on sets whereby it is such a hard, difficult situation, but because they are so strong, like they've already prepped well, and the fact that everybody knows what you're doing, they pull through, and there's this semangat on set, and people can feel it, and they whatever it takes, they pull through. Whereas some, because the mama and papa are not strong, it creates problems because people can feel it too. Kudos to you, B, because this is your first film, and prior to that, you did what, one telemovie,
Yes.
right? For the fact that you had to quickly, you were thrown into the deep end. No film school will teach you, especially when it comes to real life experience going in there and having to deal with it. You have to learn all the basics, but at the same time, you have to learn the real work experience. And seriously, you come out okay, you know, and that's amazing. Yeah, and a lot of people. I mean, I will say this not because I disregard, because I think Yasu, because I can see that this is both your baby. So meaning that you are also part of the producing team. It's not like you're keeping it separate. It's a very, you know, you created it together, which is fantastic. And that, but looking at the industry, I see many a times, because, especially in Malaysia, we need more producers, better producers as well. We need more producers who can go to levels of not just locally, but regionally and internationally. It's so important for the fact that you did that, you know, with him. I don't even know how the heck did you actually agree, to be honest, to go and shoot at the dad. Most producers will say, no, find somewhere else because I gotta get up there or whatever, you know. But yeah, it's teamwork.
I think the thing is, I've been to Bangkok.
Yeah.
When he brought it up, I mean, that thought came to mind. Should we have to ship everything there? Then when I think about the location, I've been there. It's so beautiful, and it's in Malaysia. Why not use that location? It'll be something we can capture it on film.
Sabah Sarawak is beautiful, really. I have to say, yeah. But what about? But Yasu, what about you? Like in terms as a filmmaker, and also the fact that you made a huge move to come here, to live here, right? And it's a different culture for you. What have you learned from that? Like shooting your first film. Is that your first feature film as a director, or?
In Malaysia.
In Malaysia.
I mean, I always say that if I get married with a Brazilian woman, I'm making a Brazilian film. With a French woman in a French film.
Right.
Yeah. So I mean, that's how just like you asked me about the Japanese film. My creation may be like a borderless, you know, because I grown up in Japan 20 years, and the next 20 years I was in States. It's all, you know, equal. And then maybe the next 20 years, I just happen to be here. So then the mix of those is I don't know which is more, you know, core of me. So that's why usually even the language, you know, maybe come as the last elements. That as long as the picture, people, and location there, we can create a story.
I think
doesn't
stories.
matter where it is.
Yeah. I mean, it's amazing that, you know, we can tell stories, whether if it's through film or series or even, you know, YouTube videos, whereby you share a certain kind of, you know, your perspective, but it is universal. And so I mean, I agree with you too. It doesn't matter where it's from, as long as it speaks to me. I mean, I remember, I think I was a teenager watching a Bosnian film, and I totally fell in love with it. I didn't mind reading the subtitles, you know. So yeah, that's great. Is there anything that you would like to share with the audience with regards to what you think would help them, especially for those who love films?
Maybe I can
Yasu,
add
me first.
I'll add something first. One thing I learned, I think that's another thing one big thing that I learned is I learned to see Malaysia from a foreigner's point of view. There's nowhere in the world like Malaysia. So we don't make enough movies to highlight the beauty we have in Malaysia, the diversity we have in Malaysia.
Yes.
Because that's what the world is hungry for.
Yes.
So we
agree.
need to we need to see the uniqueness of Malaysia from a foreign perspective. So
Yes.
then Malaysia films can travel. We need to tell our story, like you mentioned, universally. That you don't
Yes.
have to be a Malaysian to understand it.
Yes.
Everyone who watches it understands it. I
Yes.
think that's a lot of times what we share in our class of visual storytelling as well. Language doesn't matter either. If you tell a
Yes.
story visually, there can be no dialogue. That's why I did the subtitles for Nota.
Yeah.
It's minimal dialogue. Yeah.
Yeah.
So everything is visual.
That's why it's called film, isn't it? You know.
Yes.
What about Yasu?
About
For young filmmakers.
young filmmakers.
And the audience.
Old filmmaker. Yeah, but actually, I don't know. Nowadays, many things happening, especially this year. And yeah, Nota we released already 5 years ago. So then kind of interesting to see the reaction after 5 years ago. These kind of things happened. We are talking about film. So yeah, we think even this year, from the beginning of this year, many things happened. The world seems to be changing a lot. But
Yes.
actually, yeah, this is, the blinking moment if you talk about the long history of the human being. So then
Yes.
you can see the, long scope, make something like people can still watch 20 years later. So
Yes.
that kind of idea, especially nowadays, the things we can do is restricted. Even though we cannot go to traveling or meeting the people freely, but for the creator, maybe this is a good, actually, luxury time to face to yourself, to find out.
On this note, what's your opinion about the future of film? Considering that considering now, I mean, even now, like we're talking digitally, I've had to do a lot more stuff that's digitally related. What's your take about film? Do you think like what they say in the West that is gonna die, or what do you think? What do you think we should,
Well,
look forward?
I started with a big screen experience. Actually, when I saw Nota the first time in the editing room, that is a relatively, big screen. But once I saw the end credit is rolling up, I felt the kind of same, experience when I saw the movie when I was kids. That is more than just, see or hear only. It's more like a smell or humidity or the air on the everything. So those kind of experience, I don't know, how we can maintain for the digital time. So of course, we cannot stop the technology. So we have the good part and the bad part. So then, but even things are changing. Yeah, just like I said, if you face to yourself, maybe you are not changing a lot.
Yeah.
So you're hopeful about the future. Yeah, we're hopeful.
I don't know.
Long live cinema. Long live cinema. But yeah, go on.
Like this year, like with the CMCO, everyone are having tough time. We cannot go out. We have to stay home and all that. That I think what I see Yasu doing a lot is creating. I think as content creators, as filmmakers, this is the time. Since we cannot shoot, create, and learn how to create.
I mean, I'm not hoping anything because that's why I said young filmmaker. Actually, they know. Maybe they have already their own value.
Yeah.
And the definition of the visual content that is totally different from our generation.
Yes.
So we cannot compare, and I'm okay with that. So I'm not hoping anything.
the thing is, on that note, the arts industry has been greatly affected, as we know. It's one of the industries that got completely affected. Most of us are, just like kind of in the air. You're lucky to be working and all of that. And a lot of people I know, they've opened gerai, cari makan, all of those things. And the thing is, which also changes the way people cannot go and tengok wayang, so which is why I want to ask you, what for one is, how did you come to know about eWayang? Because for me personally, why I was like, oh, that's good, there's more online platform, because I did my show on an online platform, and till today I have new audience, which is great, instead, there is a slight regret of, okay, that turned into a film, but never mind, next time, but at least, even though it's done, it's there. But how do you take on it, for the fact that you make a decision to show Nota on eWayang? How did you come about it?
Because for Nota, like it was shown 5 years ago, released on cinema. We had barely 2 weeks. A lot of people didn't watch it.
Yeah.
So I thought eWayang is a very good chance for filmmakers and producers to put their films out there for Malaysian people to watch again. For those who missed it, definitely a lot of people miss Nota because the weakness is we didn't promote it. We didn't have the money to promote it as much as we want to. I just blasted on Facebook and bought ads on Facebook. That's about it.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, and then it's when we made Nota, like the experience of watching it first time at the post we did the post in Technicolor in Bangkok. For me to see the full-fledged film on the big screen, I remember my feeling was like, oh, that dialogue, I wrote that dialogue, and it's somebody is saying it in a movie, but as I watched the movie, as the filmmaker, as the producer, I know the story because we co-wrote it.
Okay.
When we started to certain scenes, I remember,
Sorry, B, we've got like 3 minutes left before this is over. But what I wanted to ask you is, because now a lot of people can't go to the cinemas, cannot tonton wayang, they tonton wayang at home. So I want to ask you, because there's a relevance between that to staying at home, like you said, being creative. So why did you say, okay, I want to do that, to show to people that I can still show my film or whatever my content, via something like eWayang? How relevant do you think eWayang is now to the future of the world?
We have been put Nota in Amazon, but actually the Malaysian audience cannot watch it because of the system. They have to use their own credit card or something. I don't know that, So that's why kind of sayang, for me. So definitely give them more opportunity to see.
In this region.
Okay.
In that
so that's
sense,
good. It's good. So everybody, audience out there, please try and support Nota on eWayang. But very quickly also, before you go, I know that Yasu's been teaching screenwriting, right? But what I know, COVID's been very difficult for everyone. What have you been doing? I know that you might have had some online courses or something.
Yeah,
is that right?
We have been doing the class called the visual storytelling.
Ah,
and then
you got a book.
Yes.
Ah, it's on sale.
Yes, it's on sale.
Oh wow! Hey, you know what, Yasu?
What?
Because eWayang is just started, right? And eWayang would love to be able to start courses to help, filmmakers and all that. Hopefully, one of these days, eWayang can get Yasu on board to give classes to filmmakers. I really hope so. Wow, we've got 1 more minute left. I can't believe. See, 1 hour is not enough because we can just go on and on about it. And I value everything that you say. But all the penonton Malaysia especially, actually this is worldwide, by the way. eWayang is worldwide. You can watch eWayang at any time. Now, please help support eWayang, help support Nota. Thank you very much, Yasu and B, for joining us. I am so grateful, and I hope to catch up with you soon. I think I want to go and check out your class. I rasa macam I want to ask you, how do you stay so disciplined? Huh? I was worrying so much. Yeah. So, okay, don't forget www.ewayang.com, and let's support Malaysian films. Let's support Nota. All right. Thank you. Thank you all for joining. See you again.